In this session, we will discuss about abnormal molar masses and Van Hoff factor. When the molar masses are calculated, if it is higher or lower than the expected value, then it is called abnormal molar masses. Abnormal molar masses is the resultant of association or dissociation of the solute particles when dissolved in a solvent. We will now discuss the association and dissociation of solute particles when dissolved in a solvent. For example, when 1 mole of potassium chloride is dissolved in water, it will dissociate to form 1 mole of potassium ion and 1 mole of chloride ion. That is, the number of moles of solute doubled when potassium chloride is dissolved in water. Thereby, the effective number of solute particles in the solution increased. Therefore, the observed colligative properties such as osmotic pressure, elevation and boiling point, depression and freezing point will have values higher than those calculated on the basis of undissociated potassium chloride single molecule. Also, the molar mass is inversely proportional to colligative properties. Based on this, Van Hoff factor was introduced by a scientist called Jacobus Hernicius van Hoff. The Van Hoff factor I is defined as the ratio between observed colligative property and calculated colligative property. We also know that the colligative properties are inversely proportional to molar mass. So, the Van Hoff factor I in terms of molar mass becomes normal or calculated molar mass divided by abnormal or observed molar mass. The colligative properties also depend upon the number of solute particles present in the solution. Considering all these factors, the Van Hoff factor I can be defined as the total number of moles of particles after association or dissociation divided by total number of moles of particles before association or dissociation. We will now watch a short video on how NaCl is dissociated when dissolved in water. Water is a polar molecule. NaCl is also a polar molecule made up of Na plus and Cl minus ions. The positive ends of the water molecule pulls away the chloride ions from its lattice. Similarly, the negative end of the water molecule pulls away the sodium ions from its lattice. Eventually, the entire sodium chloride lattice is split into Na plus and Cl minus ions. Based on this observation, we will now calculate the Van Hoff factor I using the formula total number of moles of particles after association or dissociation divided by total number of moles of particles before association or dissociation. For example, 1 mole of potassium chloride dissolves in water to form 1 mole of potassium and 1 mole of chloride ion. In this equation, the number of moles of particles after dissociation is 2 and the number of moles of particles before dissociation is 1. So, the Van Hoff factor I equal to 2 by 1, that is equal to 2. Similarly, when sucrose is dissolved in water, it does not dissociate. So, the number of particles before dissociation and after dissociation is equal to 1. So, the Van Hoff factor is also equal to 1. On the other hand, when NaCl is dissolved in water, it will dissociate to form Na plus and Cl minus ions. So the number of moles of particles after dissociation is 2 and before dissociation is 1. So the Van Hoff factor will be 2 by 1, that is equal to 2. Next, when calcium chloride is dissolved in water, it will dissociate to form calcium 2 plus ion and 2 chloride ions. So the total number of moles of particles after dissociation is 3, whereas the number of moles of particles before dissociation is 1. So the Van Hoff factor will be 3 divided by 1, that is equal to 3. Some more examples are given here regarding the calculation of Van Hoff factor. We have already discussed that the Van Hoff factor for sodium chloride and potassium chloride is 2. Next, in the case of magnesium sulfate, when dissolved in water, it will dissociate to form Mg2 plus and SO4 2 minus ions. So the number of moles of particles after dissociation is 2 and the number of moles of particles before dissociation is 1. So the Van Hoff factor is 2 divided by 1, that is equal to 2. Next, in the case of K2SO4, when potassium sulfate is dissolved in water, it will dissociate to form 2 potassium ions and 1 sulfate ion, in total 3 ions. So in the case of potassium sulfate, the number of moles of particles after dissociation is 3, whereas the number of moles of particles before dissociation is 1. So the Van Hoff factor is 3 divided by 1, that is equal to 3. Next we will discuss about association of solute particles when dissolved in a solvent using the example of ethanoic acid dissolved in benzene. In this figure you can see that when ethanoic acid is dissolved in benzene, two molecules of ethanoic acid combine together with the help of hydrogen bonds to form a dimer. This combination of ethanoic acid is called dimerization of ethanoic acid when dissolved in benzene. In the case of dimerization of ethanoic acid in benzene, the number of moles of particles after association is 1 and the number of moles of particles before association is 2. So, the Van Hoff factor I is given by 1 divided by 2 and that is equal to 0.5. So, the equations corresponding to the colligative properties can now be redefined with respect to the Van Hoff factor I. The relative lowering of vapor pressure of the solvent P1 naught minus P1 divided by P1 naught is now equal to I into N2 divided by N1. The elevation in boiling point delta TV is equal to I into KB into M. The depression of freezing point delta TF is equal to I into KF into M. The osmotic pressure of the solution pi is equal to I into N2 into R into T, the whole divided by V. To supplement the education given in the online education platform, students are requested to read the textbooks thoroughly and solve all the in-text questions given in the textbook yourself and compare your answers with the solutions given in the next part of the video. If in case of any doubt regarding the questions, you can contact me through my email ID.